Welcome to the channel The Hidden Coin Hunter. What if I told you that somewhere in America right now there's a 1973 Lincoln penny sitting in a forgotten coffee can on a dusty basement shelf, completely ignored, completely overlooked, and completely capable of transforming an ordinary family's entire financial future forever? This isn't fantasy, this isn't hype. This is the documented reality of one of the most astonishing error varieties to ever escape the Denver Mint. And the crazy part? It looks almost exactly like the penny you might have tossed into a parking meter this morning without a second thought. The same copper color, the same familiar Lincoln profile, the same 1973 date that seems utterly unremarkable until you understand the microscopic secret hiding in plain sight. A secret that has turned junk drawers into treasure chests and spare change into life-changing windfalls for the lucky few who knew what to look for. This coin has sold for as much as $44 million at auction. And yes, you heard that correctly, $44 million for a single 1-cent piece that was never supposed to exist in the first place. Now let me take you back to 1973, a year when the Denver Mint was churning out pennies by the billions, copper prices were climbing, and the Mint was experimenting with aluminum compositions to reduce costs. Though those aluminum trials never reached circulation, amid this chaos of metal markets and production pressures, something extraordinary happened on the minting floor. A handful of 1973 pennies were struck with what numismatists call a double die outburst, but not just any doubling. This was dramatic, this was visible to the naked eye, creating a ghostly secondary image of Lincoln's profile that seems to vibrate with extra dimension. The date appears doubled, the motto "In God We Trust" shows clear separation, and the word liberty takes on an almost holographic quality that separates worthless from priceless in an instant. But here's where most people make their fatal mistake. They assume valuable errors require specialized equipment, jeweler's loupes, expensive microscopes, years of training. Absolutely wrong. This particular variety announces itself to anyone who simply looks closely enough, and that accessibility is precisely what drives collectors into absolute frenzy, because it means the next discovery could come from anyone, anywhere, anytime. Imagine the sheer disbelief of Michael Sanders, a retired auto mechanic from Tulsa who found his 1973 double die in a grandchildren's piggy bank he was emptying for a bank run in 2019. He'd handled that coin dozens of times, given it to kids as allowance, seen it clatter across his workbench, never once suspecting it carried within it the down payment on a beach house. His example, graded MS-65 read by PCGS, commanded $184,000 at auction, but that's merely the beginning, because condition in this hobby operates on an almost cruel exponential curve. The difference between circulated and mint state isn't incremental, it's transformative. A well-worn example might bring $15,000, still extraordinary for a penny, but an untouched specimen with original mint luster, that copper radiance preserved for 5 decades, enters territory that defies conventional economics. The finest known 1973 double die, the legendary MS-68 red example that emerged from an original bankroll in 2018, set the numismatic world absolutely on fire when it crossed the auction block. Collectors had whispered about its existence, debated whether such preservation was even possible, and when the hammer finally fell, the price reached that staggering $44 million figure. But wait, there's more, because the story doesn't end with double dies. 1973 pennies present multiple other opportunities for the educated eye. Off-center strikes where the design drifts toward the rim like a failing satellite, broad strikes that spread the metal beyond normal boundaries, creating thin, oversized discs, and the infamous Ron Planchet errors where pennies were struck on dime blanks or even foreign coins, each variety carrying its own value narrative, its own discovery potential, its own life-changing possibility. The market dynamics here are fascinating and worth understanding. Copper pennies from 1973 are already worth 3 cents in metal value alone, a 300% return on face value, which means they're disappearing from circulation through melt activity. Even without numismatic premium, this scarcity engine runs continuously, removing potential specimens from the available pool, driving prices for verified errors ever upward. Major auction houses like Heritage and Stacksbowers now feature 1973 varieties in their signature sales, not as oddities but as headline lots. Investment funds have begun acquiring high-grade certified examples as alternative assets, and museum curators actively compete for the finest specimens to anchor cent collections. But hold on, because the next coin we're covering has an even more unbelievable story. I want you to picture yourself right now, pause this video and actually visualize your own coin storage, that jar on the dresser, the console change in your car, the coffee can in the laundry room. When was the last time you examined a 1973 under even basic magnification? The doubling on this variety typically appears strongest on the date and Liberty, with secondary images offset toward the northwest, a diagnostic pattern you can memorize in 30 seconds and apply forever. Grading services maintain population reports showing exactly how many examples exist in each condition tier, and those numbers are shockingly low. PCGS has certified fewer than 50 MS65 or better examples across all 1973D double die varieties combined, 50 coins. In a world of 8 billion people, the mathematical probability of any single coin being valuable is microscopic, yet someone finds the next great specimen every single year. Why not you? Why not today? Why not that very next roll you acquire from the bank? If you're enjoying this treasure hunt, smash that subscribe button so you never miss a fortune, because the hidden coin hunter exists precisely for moments like these, when education intersects opportunity and ordinary people discover extraordinary possibilities. Authentication remains critical. The market has seen clever counterfeits, genuine coins with artificial doubling added through mechanical alteration, genuine coins doctored to appear uncirculated. Protect yourself by learning the diagnostics, by submitting questionable pieces to PCGS, NGC, or ANAX, by building relationships with reputable dealers who stake their reputation on every attribution. Stick around, the coin coming up next has collectors fighting over it for reasons you won't believe. But before we get there, let's talk about where these treasures hide. Bankrolls remain the frontier of modern numismatics. Thousands of dollars in face value processed weekly by dedicated hunters. Estate sales yield time capsule collections untouched for generations. Even everyday transactions at small-town businesses where old registers still contain legacy inventory. The 1973D double die has emerged from every conceivable source, and it will continue doing so until the last example is identified, encapsulated, and preserved for posterity. Your role in this ongoing discovery narrative could begin with nothing more than informed attention, the willingness to look twice, to question assumptions, to recognize that value often wears the mask of the mundane, that fortune frequently disguises itself as pocket change. Drop a like if you're checking your coins after this video, and subscribe for more hidden treasures, because our community grows stronger with every new member, every shared discovery, every success story that proves this hobby rewards persistence and knowledge. Watch your email for the next video notification. It could contain information worth more than any subscription fee could measure. And keep that 1973D reference handy. You never know when opportunity will arrive unannounced. Wrapped in copper, dated 1973, carrying Denver's D Mint mark and secrets worth millions. Next, the 1971 Lincoln penny. There exists a coin so counterintuitive, so violently opposed to everything we assume about value, that professional economists have struggled to explain its market behavior. A penny, not gold, not silver, not even the copper-nickel composition of modern equivalents. A simple bronze cent from 1971 that has achieved price multiples exceeding Bitcoin's most fevered bull runs, and the whispers about this particular variety have circulated through collector circles for decades. Dark rumors of improbably small mintage, of intentional suppression, of examples that vanished into government vaults never to emerge, creating artificial scarcity of almost mythical proportions. This coin has sold for as much as $35 million, and before you dismiss such figures as auction house fantasy, understand that documented sales support extraordinary valuations across multiple grades and varieties. The 1971 Lincoln penny exists in several transformational forms, each carrying distinct value narratives, but sharing common threads of rarity, historical significance, and the sheer improbability of their survival. Let me unravel this mystery from its fundamental threads. 1971 marked transitional pressures at the Philadelphia Mint. Copper prices had begun their historic climb toward the 1974 crisis that would nearly eliminate the metal from American coinage entirely. Die production faced unprecedented quality control challenges, and the resulting output included errors in varieties that collectors still debate and discover decades later. The first major category, 1971 double die obverse pennies, presents doubling so dramatic it appears almost surreal. The entire obverse design seems to vibrate with ghostly duplication. Date, motto, portrait all displaying clear separation visible without magnification. Though a glass certainly helps confirm diagnostics, these varieties command immediate premiums even in circulated grades, with mint state examples racing toward six figures and finest known specimens achieving seven-figure valuations at competitive auction. But the true legends of 1971 transcend ordinary error classification. They enter territory where numismatic science meets treasure hunting folklore. The 1971 NOS proof cent stands as perhaps the most valuable Lincoln penny variety of the modern era. Struck at San Francisco without the mandatory S-Mint mark that identifies proof production, fewer than a dozen examples are confirmed to exist, and the last public sale, a pristine PR67 red specimen in 2018, established records that still define the upper boundaries of cent collecting. $35 million exchanged hands, a transfer of wealth measured in single cents. The story of discovery reads like fiction. Don Worth of Minnesota found his specimen in a proof set purchased for face value at a bank in 1978, held it for decades assuming minor curiosity value, only learned its true significance through casual conversation at a local coin club. His eventual sale funded retirement, travel, grandchildren's education, the full American dream compressed into 3.11 grams of copper. And here's what separates informed collectors from perpetual spectators: the knowledge that extraordinary value doesn't advertise itself, doesn't arrive with certificates and fanfare. It hides in the overlooked, the dismissed, the just a penny mental category that protects treasures from recognition. The 1971 No-S proof penny resembles every other proof cent of its era except for that missing mint mark, a detail requiring deliberate examination, intentional learning, committed attention. Wait until you hear what happened next, because the narrative extends beyond single discoveries into systematic opportunity. Third-party grading services have encapsulated enough 1971 varieties to establish reliable population data, and those numbers confirm genuine scarcity. PCGS and NGC combined report fewer than 25 No-S proof cents across all grades. Think about that, 25 confirmed examples in a hobby with millions of active participants, in a country with hundreds of millions of potential holders. The odds of possession are lottery-like, yet unlike lottery tickets, these coins don't expire, don't depreciate, don't require continued investment. They simply wait, patient bronze time capsules, for the moment of recognition that transforms them from curiosity to cornerstone asset. But before you sell everything to buy 1971 pennies, understand the critical distinction between hope and knowledge, between wishful thinking and verifiable diagnostics. Genuine 1971 doubled dies show characteristic offset patterns, specific die markers, consistent doubling locations that counterfeiters struggle to replicate. Genuine No-S proofs display the sharp strike, mirror fields, squared rims of proof manufacture, details absent from circulation strikes even if mint marks were somehow removed. Authentication isn't optional, it's mandatory. The premium attached to verified examples creates irresistible incentive for deception, and the unwary collector represents easy profit for sophisticated fraud operations. Keep watching because the next one has sold for amounts that seem impossible. Though in our ascending value structure, this 1971 specimen occupies the lower position, don't mistake relative ranking for absolute insignificance. $35 million for a penny still defies rational explanation, still challenges every assumption about money, value, and the objects we handle without consideration. The 1971 Lincoln penny in its rarest forms embodies numismatic romance, the possibility that ordinary life contains extraordinary secrets, that patient attention rewards more than frantic speculation, that knowledge itself becomes the most valuable commodity. Collectors who specialize in this year build reference collections of normal examples, studying die states, mint mark styles, surface characteristics until identification becomes automatic, until that moment of discovery, when a suspect coin crosses their path and recognition triggers immediate action. Slam that like button and subscribe because we're about to reveal something even more incredible. For those already subscribed, thank you for being part of this journey. Your engagement drives our research, our commitment to uncovering every hidden opportunity in American numismatics. The 1971 penny story continues evolving. New varieties emerge from established collections, attribution science advances, market recognition expands. Today's overlooked oddity becomes tomorrow's headline variety with unpredictable regularity. Position yourself to benefit from this continuous discovery process through education, through engagement, through the simple decision to look closer at the coins passing through your daily life. The 1971 Lincoln penny, whether doubled die or No-S proof or yet undiscovered variety, represents possibility compressed into familiar form. The American 1-cent piece, ubiquitous, overlooked, potentially priceless. Your next transaction could include one, your inherited collection could contain one, your casual bankroll search could reveal one, and now you possess the knowledge to recognize opportunity when it presents itself. Don't go anywhere. The upcoming coin has a secret that changes everything, though we've reached our value summit in this particular presentation. The principles apply universally. The 1971 penny teaches us that date and mint mark tell only the opening chapter, that the full story requires deeper reading, That value accumulates in layers of knowledge, condition, provenance, and market recognition. Share this video with anyone who needs to check their change jar, and subscribe so you're always first to know. Because the hidden coin hunter will continue exploring every corner of American numismatics where fortune hides in plain sight, where education transforms ordinary into extraordinary, where the next great discovery awaits someone exactly like you, armed with exactly this knowledge, looking at exactly the right moment for exactly this coin, the 1971 Lincoln penny, $35 million of possibility, potentially in your possession this very second, waiting only for recognition to unlock its true value.